This audiobook reveals the sacred dialect of abundance, the universal language that shapes your financial reality. As you listen, you'll discover the truth. Money isn't just a currency. It's a living force that responds to your thoughts and emotions. Learn to align with its frequency and unlock the unlimited flow of prosperity that's been waiting for you. Introduction: The secret language of money. In the vast expanse of time, intricately intertwined with the essence of existence, lies a sacred dialect, the dialect of abundance. This ancient form of communication is not based on words, but on energy, on vibration, on the very fabric of creation. Money, in its deepest sense, is the tangible manifestation of this universal dialogue. As you stand on the brink of this discovery, understand that you are about to unlock wisdom hidden for generations. The connection between consciousness and wealth dates back to the very beginning of civilization, although its truths have often been masked by misunderstanding and fear. Money transcends mere currency. It is a living force, a dynamic expression of the universal flow of abundance. Just as water carves its way through the terrain, money naturally gravitates toward those who understand its true essence. This understanding begins with an essential truth. Wealth originates in consciousness before materializing in the physical world. The enigma of the money dialect lies in its accurate reflection of your inner state. Every belief you hold, every emotion you nurture about abundance, creates ripples in the fabric of reality. These ripples either attract or repel the flow of prosperity. Your thoughts and feelings about money are not mere passive observations. They are powerful commands to the universe. To master this sacred dialect, you must first realize that your current financial situation is not a fixed reality, but a mirror that reflects your deepest beliefs about abundance. The patterns you observe in your material world are a direct translation of your internal dialogue with the universe. As you prepare to decode this ancient dialect, understand that you are not learning something new, but rather remembering what your soul has always known. The wisdom of abundance flows through your essence, waiting to be awakened. The journey ahead will help you clear the channels through which prosperity naturally flows, aligning your consciousness with the eternal laws of abundance. The time has come to embrace this sacred knowledge, to remember the forgotten dialect that speaks directly to the heart of creation itself. Chapter 1: Awakening the Symphony of Wealth. At the heart of an ancient kingdom lived Arion, whose melodies possessed a resonance so pure they stirred the very essence of creation. As his fingers danced across the strings of his lyre, precious gems mysteriously appeared at his feet. Gold coins materialized in the air, and merchants traveled great distances, drawn by an inexplicable force, to offer their finest wares. The secret of Arion's power lay not in the notes themselves, but in the perfect harmony he achieved with the universal frequency of abundance. Money, you see, vibrates at a specific frequency, one that aligns perfectly with the energy of gratitude, joy, and expansive possibility. When your thoughts and emotions resonate with this frequency, you become someone like Arion, naturally attracting abundance to you. This isn't mysticism, but a fundamental law of energy. Like attracts like, and wealth flows to those who match its vibration. Your relationship with money is, in essence, a dance of energy. Every thought you have about wealth, every emotion you associate with abundance, creates a specific frequency. When you worry about scarcity, you emit a discordant note that drives away prosperity. When you feel abundant and grateful, you create a harmonious melody that effortlessly attracts wealth. Let me share with you the story of Kamal, a merchant whose wares were gathering dust in his shop while his competitors prospered. One afternoon, a wise woman passed by and observed his despair. "Your song is off-key," she told him simply. Confused, Kamal asked her what she meant. She explained that his constant focus on scarcity created a barrier around his shop that wealth could not penetrate. The wise woman taught Kamal to begin each morning by giving thanks for what he had, to treat each coin that passed through his hands with reverence, and to find joy in the exchange of goods and currency. Gradually, his energy shifted. Where he had once projected fear and scarcity, he now radiated appreciation and abundance. Soon, customers began to appear as if by magic, drawn by the new frequency he had learned to emanate. Just as Kamal discovered, you too can learn to tune into the frequency of wealth. The struggles you may face with money aren't permanent conditions, but rather indicators that your energy needs realignment. By consciously shifting your vibration through gratitude and positive expectation, you can begin to naturally attract prosperity. Now, let's practice this ancient art of energetic alignment. Find a quiet space and get into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and imagine that money has its own musical signature, a beautiful, flowing melody that constantly surrounds you. Feel this melody beginning to sync with your heartbeat. As you breathe deeply, allow this harmony to expand, filling your entire being. Let it resonate through every cell, every thought, every emotion. This is the frequency of abundance, your birthright, waiting to be acknowledged and embraced. Chapter 2. Decoding Hidden Beliefs About Wealth. In a hidden cave beneath an ancient temple, Marcus discovered a worn chest adorned with mysterious inscriptions. Inside was a collection of stones, each carved with symbols representing different beliefs about wealth. Some depicted abundance flowing freely like a river, while others showed wealth trapped behind impenetrable walls. As Marcus studied each stone, he began to understand that these symbols reflected the invisible barriers within his own mind. You too carry such symbols within your consciousness, beliefs deeply etched into your being by family, society, and experiences. These mental patterns shape your financial reality more powerfully than any external circumstance. When you believe that money is the root of all evil, or that wealth only comes through effort, you create energetic walls that repel abundance. These subconscious programs operate like ancient spells, silently directing the flow of prosperity in your life. Perhaps you learned that rich people are greedy, or that you don't deserve wealth. Each of these beliefs becomes a stone in the wall between you and abundance. However, just as these limitations were written into your consciousness, they can be transformed through awareness and intention. In a distant valley lived an old woman named Sophia, known for her wisdom about prosperity. A villager named Raj approached her, frustrated by his constant financial woes. "Your problems are not in the world," Sophia told him, "but in the story you tell yourself about wealth." She instructed Raj to sit by the river each morning and visualize himself as a channel through which the infinite abundance of the universe could flow. At first, Raj resisted, his mind filled with doubts about his worth. But Sophia taught him to recognize these thoughts as mere inherited beliefs, not eternal truths. Day by day, Raj began to see himself differently, not as someone fighting for scarce resources, but as a steward of unlimited prosperity. As his internal narrative shifted, opportunities began to appear in unexpected ways. His small farm flourished, and his generosity attracted abundance from unexpected sources. As Raj, you have the power to rewrite your wealth story. The limitations you experience reflect only the limits of your beliefs, not the true nature of abundance. By consciously choosing new thoughts about money, you create new paths for prosperity to flow. Now, take a moment for this transformative practice. On a piece of paper, write down a limiting belief about money that has been holding you back. Examine its origins. Did it come from your parents, society, or past experiences? Now, consciously create an empowering affirmation that reflects the truth of unlimited abundance. Each morning, speak this new truth out loud, allowing it to gradually reshape your relationship with wealth. Chapter 3. Tuning into the vibration of abundance. On the misty peaks of an ancient mountain range, a wanderer named Elias discovered a peculiar object gleaming in the morning sun. It was a crystal tuning fork, its surface etched with spiraling patterns that seemed to dance in the light. As he lifted it, the tuning fork began to hum with a frequency that resonated deep within his being, awakening memories of his most cherished dreams. Within you exists a similar instrument of manifestation, your vibrational frequency. Just as Elias's tuning fork sang in harmony with his desires, your energy field constantly transmits a signal to the universe. This signal, composed of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, acts like a magnetic force, attracting experiences that match its frequency. The law of vibrational alignment operates with mathematical precision. When you maintain a state of joyful expectation and grateful abundance, you naturally attract circumstances that reflect this energy. Yet many walk through life emitting frequencies of scarcity, worry, or unworthiness, and then wonder why prosperity remains elusive. Imagine your vibrational state as a musical note. The universe responds not to your words or desires, but to the song your being sings. When your inner harmony aligns with the frequency of abundance, wealth flows to you as naturally as water seeks its level. In a valley, blessed with extraordinary gardens, lived a man named Chen. His plants grew with unprecedented vigor, producing harvests that astonished all who saw them. However, Chen's neighbors, using the same soil and seeds, could never match his results. The secret, they discovered, lay not in his techniques, but in his habit of humming as he worked. Chen explained that he had learned to match his energy with the natural abundance of life itself. As he tended his gardens, his joyful melodies created a field of harmony that nourished everything around them. His plants responded not only to his care, but to the vibration of prosperity he maintained. Like Chen's garden, your life responds to the energy you cultivate. When you exist in a state of appreciation and expectation, you create a vibrational environment where abundance naturally flourishes. This isn't just positive thinking, it's the conscious application of universal law. To begin aligning with the prosperity frequency, find a quiet space and practice this ancient technique. Close your eyes and visualize yourself surrounded by a radiant golden light. Feel its warmth penetrating every cell of your body, filling you with pure joy and unlimited abundance. Allow this light to dissolve any resistance or doubt, raising your vibration to match the prosperity frequency. Hold this state for several minutes, allowing your entire being to resonate with the natural harmony of wealth. Chapter 4. The Eternal Exchange. In the annals of time, two neighboring kingdoms existed, separated by a winding river. The kingdom of Aram, gleaming with accumulated gold, stored its wealth in gigantic vaults. Its people walked with their eyes cast down, clutching their coins. Across the river was the kingdom of Dinara, where wealth flowed like the waters that sustained it. Here, abundance circulated freely among its citizens, each giving and receiving in a natural rhythm. You must understand that these two realms represent the eternal dance of prosperity. In Aram, fear and greed stopped the flow of wealth, while in Dinara, trust and generosity allowed abundance to flow freely. You too can choose which realm you wish to live in, one where wealth is stagnant, or one where it flows in an eternal and harmonious exchange. Universal law dictates that wealth, like water, must flow to maintain its vitality. When you hold on too tightly, you create resistance to this natural flow. However, when you participate in the cycle of giving and receiving, you align yourself with the very essence of abundance. The kingdom of Aram, despite its vast treasures, began to wither. Its gardens turned arid, its markets emptied, and its people grew increasingly isolated by fear of loss. Meanwhile, Dinara flourished. Its streets bustled with commerce and celebration, and its citizens prospered from their shared abundance. This eternal truth resonates throughout the centuries. Wealth multiplies through movement. Every act of generosity creates a ripple effect in the universal field of abundance, returning to its source amplified. This is not mere charity. It is conscious participation in the natural exchange of life. In the bustling port city of Miraz lived a merchant named Ibrahim. Every morning, he shared a portion of his daily earnings with the needy before conducting any business. Other merchants scoffed at his practice, warning that such generosity would lead to ruin. Yet, with each passing season, Ibrahim's wealth grew, while others struggled. One day, a fellow merchant asked Ibrahim what his secret was. "I have learned," Ibrahim replied, "that wealth is like breath. It must flow in both directions to sustain life. By giving, I create space to receive. By receiving, I get more to give. This is the natural path." Through Ibrahim's wisdom, you glimpse a fundamental truth. Generosity is not a sacrifice, but an investment in the field of infinite possibilities. Every gift offered with a joyful heart sets in motion forces that return multiplied. It's not about the amount given, but the spirit with which it is offered. The wisdom contained in these stories speaks directly to your wealth journey. By aligning yourself with this natural law of giving and receiving, you become a conscious participant in the flow of abundance. Release the fear that holds back your generosity and watch the universe respond in kind. To embody this ancient wisdom, practice this sacred ritual today. Offer something of value to another, whether it be your time, your energy, or your resources. Notice how this act of generosity affects your inner state. Notice the subtle shift in your relationship with abundance. Through this practice, you activate the eternal cycle of prosperity. Chapter 5. The Portal of Gratitude to Prosperity. In the fertile valleys of an ancient land lived a farmer named Yusuf, whose relationship with the land revealed the sacred connection between gratitude and abundance. While other farmers struggled with meager harvests, Yusuf's fields flourished with golden wheat and succulent fruits. Each morning, before touching his tools, he knelt and pressed his hands into the earth, whispering words of thanks for its bountiful gifts. The very essence of abundance flows through the channel of appreciation. Just as Yusuf understood that his gratitude nourished the earth as much as water and sunlight, you too must recognize that gratitude creates a magnetic field that attracts prosperity. This is not a mere feeling. It is a universal law, as reliable as the changing of the seasons. When your heart overflows with genuine appreciation, you align with the very frequency of abundance. This alignment opens channels through which wealth flows naturally. Think of gratitude as the key that unlocks the treasure of the universe. The story of Marcus, a traveler in search of great riches, further illuminates this truth. For years, he traveled far and wide, passing by countless small blessings. The coin at his feet, the food offered by strangers, the shelter during storms. With his eyes fixed on distant treasures, he failed to notice the abundance that already surrounded him. One night, seeking refuge in a mountain cave, Marcus met an old mystic who taught him to count his blessings each night by candlelight. As Marcus began to recognize these daily gifts, something remarkable happened. The more he appreciated what he had, the more prosperity flowed into his life. What he once considered insignificant was revealed to be the very foundation of true wealth. This wisdom speaks directly to your relationship with money. When you view your current financial state through the lens of gratitude, you transform its very nature. Every coin, every bill, every transaction becomes an opportunity to connect with the flow of abundance. Even in times of apparent scarcity, gratitude reveals hidden treasures. To activate this ancient practice of appreciation, create a sacred ritual at the end of the day. As the day comes to a close, take out your journal and write down 3 specific blessings that have contributed to your sense of abundance. Allow your heart to truly feel the warmth of gratitude as you acknowledge these gifts. This simple act aligns your energy with the eternal flow of prosperity, preparing the ground of your consciousness for greater abundance to take root. Chapter 6. Your Thoughts, the Brush of Reality. In a sunlight-drenched studio among ancient olive groves, lived an artist named Isabella, whose brushstrokes held a mystical power. Every morning, as the golden light streamed through her windows, she sat in front of blank canvases and painted the images that danced in her mind. What made her extraordinary was not just her technique, but the way her paintings seemed to glow with life, eventually manifesting in the physical world. You possess this same creative force within you. Your thoughts are like Isabella's brushstrokes, painting the canvas of your reality in every moment. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds to these mental images with unwavering precision, transforming them into tangible experiences. Just as Isabella learned to wield her paintbrush with intention, you must learn to direct your thoughts with purpose. Every idea you have about wealth plants a seed in the fertile soil of universal consciousness. These seeds grow in the circumstances you experience in your financial life. This truth is made evident in the story of Gabriel, a man whose garden withered under the shadow of his pessimistic thoughts. Although blessed with rich soil and abundant rainfall, Gabriel's constant worry about lack and failure poisoned the ground beneath his feet. Every fearful thought about lack generated more lack. Every anxious prediction about poverty manifested its truth, until his once flourishing garden became a reflection of his inner landscape. The law operates with mathematical precision. What you plant in the soil of your mind will grow. When you consistently nurture thoughts of abundance, prosperity responds accordingly. When you imagine wealth flowing freely into your life, you create channels through which it can manifest. To harness this creative power, establish a sacred morning practice. At dawn, find a quiet space where you can be free from distractions. Close your eyes and allow your imagination to paint a vivid picture of the prosperity you desire. Visualize yourself living a life of abundance, feeling the joy of financial freedom, and experiencing the peace of complete prosperity. Let these images sink deeply into your consciousness, knowing that they are seeds planted in fertile soil. This is not mere fantasy. It is the conscious use of the same creative force that sprouts flowers from tiny seeds and transforms acorns into mighty oaks. You are the artist of your financial reality, and your thoughts are your paintbrush. Paint wisely, paint with intention, and watch your masterpiece of abundance take shape in the physical world. Every morning, spend 5 minutes visualizing yourself surrounded by the wealth and success you desire. Let these images be as detailed and vivid as possible, engaging all your senses in this creative act. Chapter 7. Emotion, the Driver of Abundance. In the ancient city of Asara, where music flowed through the streets like water, lived a composer named Marcus. Every morning, he climbed the marble steps of the great concert hall, his heart heavy with the pressure of creating music worthy of such a space. Although his technical skill was unsurpassed, his compositions left the audience indifferent, like colorless paintings. One night, as moonlight filtered through the hall's stained glass windows, an elderly maestro approached Marcus. "Your notes are perfect," the maestro whispered, "but they lack the breath of life. Every emotion you feel becomes a thread in the tapestry of your creation. When you compose from joy, you harness the very forces of the universe. You, like Marcus, are the conductor of your own symphony of abundance. Your emotions serve as the invisible force that amplifies your thoughts into powerful magnetic signals that the universe cannot ignore." Just as Marcus discovered that his feelings infused his music with transformative power, your emotional state determines the strength of your attraction to wealth. When Marcus finally understood this truth, he began to compose from a place of pure joy. His music soared with renewed vitality, and soon the concert hall was filled with patrons whose generosity matched the emotional richness of his compositions. This wisdom resonates in the story of Arman, a humble shepherd who discovered that his flock multiplied most abundantly when his heart sang with gratitude and contentment. Although other shepherds possessed larger pastures and finer equipment, Armand's pure joy seemed to cast a spell of prosperity over his lands. His sheep grew healthier, his wool thicker, and buyers traveled from distant lands, drawn by an inexplicable force to trade with him. The universe responds not only to your thoughts, but to the emotional energy that charges them. When you infuse your desires for abundance with genuine emotion, sincere gratitude, and unwavering joy, you become an irresistible magnet for prosperity. By creating a magnetic field, you attract prosperity to you with irresistible force. Like a master conductor, your emotions direct the symphony of universal energies, orchestrating the flow of abundance in your life. Select an emotion that resonates with abundance, perhaps joy, excitement, or gratitude. Throughout the day, consciously amplify this feeling within you. Allow it to color your thoughts about money, wealth, and prosperity. Observe how this emotional attunement begins to drive new opportunities and resources into your experience. Chapter 8. Breaking the Chains of Scarcity. In the forgotten valleys of the East lived Ibrahim, a man who dwelled in a peculiar prison. There were no walls to confine him, no chains to bind his limbs, but he remained trapped within invisible barriers of his own making. Each day, he ventured alone to the edge of his small garden, convinced that an unseen force prevented him from going any further. Passing villagers invited him to join them at the market or feast at their tables, but Ibrahim shook his head, muttering about the dangers that lurked beyond his self-imposed boundaries. The years passed like this, until a wandering mystic stopped at his door. "What keeps you here?" the mystic asked. "The barrier," Ibrahim replied. "Don't you see it?" "Show me," the mystic said. Ibrahim approached the edge of his garden, his hand outstretched to demonstrate the invisible wall. But, as the mystic watched silently, Ibrahim's fingers pierced the empty air. In that moment, the illusion faded, and Ibrahim realized that the prison had only existed in his mind. You too could be living in an invisible prison of scarcity. The walls that seem to separate you from abundance are as intangible as the barriers that held Ibrahim captive. These limitations exist only in your perception, but they shape your reality as firmly as stone and steel. Consider the story of Yasmin, a builder who once believed she could only work with the materials she saw in front of her. When supplies were scarce, she would halt her projects, trapped by the appearance of limitation. One night, in a dream, she saw herself building magnificent structures with light and air. Upon awakening, she understood that resources were not fixed things, but fluid possibilities waiting to be acknowledged. Where others saw scarcity, Yasmin began to perceive opportunity. An old pile of stones transformed into a beautiful mosaic. Discarded wood became intricate carvings. Her creativity flourished as she freed herself from her attachment to conventional resources, and soon her works attracted patrons who provided everything she needed and more. The prison of scarcity exists only in your thoughts, just as Ibrahim's barrier was simply a belief. Every time you declare, "I can't afford it," or "there isn't enough," you reinforce the invisible walls of lack. But, like Yasmin, you can train your mind to perceive the abundant possibilities that surround you in every moment. Chapter 9. The Mirror of Wealth. At the heart of an ancient temple was a mirror like no other. Those who gazed into its crystalline surface saw not their physical form, but the reflection of their deepest beliefs about wealth and abundance. A merchant named Karim discovered this mirror one fateful morning. As he stood before it, he saw himself dressed in rags, though in reality, he was wearing fine silks. The mirror showed him what his heart believed, that he did not deserve prosperity. You, like Karim, carry within you a reflection that shapes your financial reality. The world of abundance responds not to your outward appearance, but to the image you hold deep within you. When you stand in front of life's mirror, what reflection greets you? The universe operates as this mystical mirror, returning to you precisely what you believe about yourself, your financial circumstances, your relationship with money, and your capacity to receive abundance reflect the thoughts and feelings you have about your own worth. Listen now to the story of Amira, a traveler who lost her way in the endless desert dunes. Exhausted and thirsty, she stumbled upon an oasis where a pool of still water beckoned her. As she bent down to drink, her reflection startled her, for on the water's surface, she saw herself adorned in royal robes and a golden crown on her head. At first, she laughed at this strange sight, but as she continued to gaze, something stirred within her soul. The reflection showed her not what she was, but what she had always been, a queen who had forgotten her true identity. From that day on, Amira behaved differently. Her posture straightened, her voice became confident, and her decisions reflected the wisdom of a ruler. Soon, opportunities for wealth began to appear as if by magic, even though, in truth, they had always existed. She simply hadn't been able to recognize them while viewing herself as a lost traveler. Your relationship with money transforms the moment you recognize your true reflection. Like a mirror, you may have been viewing yourself through a distorted lens, seeing lack where abundance waits. The prosperity mirror reflects your deepest beliefs about value and worth. Stand in front of a mirror, gazing into your own gaze with gentle awareness. Go beyond the physical form to the divine essence within. Place your hand over your heart and speak these words with conviction. I am worthy of infinite abundance. Allow this truth to sink deeply into your being, transforming your inner reflection to align it with the prosperity that is your natural state. Chapter 10. Awakening the Infinite Abundance Within You. In the heart of a bustling market, a wise woman named Yasmin sat day after day, selling simple clay pots. Passers-by quickly passed her modest stall, seeking grander treasures in exotic shops. Yet Yasmin smiled knowingly, for inside each of her seemingly ordinary pots lay a secret. A thin layer of pure gold leaf, invisible to those who never thought to look inside. You, like those who run through the market, may be overlooking the treasure that already exists within you. The wealth you seek does not require a journey to distant lands or the acquisition of mysterious knowledge. It dwells in the silent spaces of your being, waiting to be recognized. The universe has planted seeds of abundance in every soul, like the gold leaf hidden within Yasmin's vessels. Your task is not to create prosperity, but to reveal what already exists. This truth frees you from the endless pursuit of external riches, directing your gaze toward the infinite spring of abundance that flows through you. In a distant mountain village lived Marcus, a sculptor known for transforming ordinary stones into works of stunning beauty. When asked about his gift, he would say, "I don't create beauty. I simply remove what obscures it." Within every stone sleeps a masterpiece waiting to be unleashed. One day, a wealthy collector challenged Marcus to prove his philosophy. He presented the sculptor with a rough, ugly rock, demanding to see the beauty within. Marcus worked steadily, his chisel moving with certainty and grace. As the layers of rock fell away, a magnificent angel emerged, wings ready to fly. The collector was astonished, but Marcus simply nodded, saying, "She was there all along." Like Marcus's angel, trapped within the stone, your abundance exists in its complete form, requiring only the gentle removal of the beliefs and patterns that hide it. Every limiting thought you release, every fear you transform, reveals more of the prosperity that has always been yours. The journey to wealth begins not with accumulation, but with recognition. Just as a sculptor sees the finished masterpiece within the rough stone, you must learn to perceive the abundance already flowing through your life. This perception becomes the chisel that reveals your true prosperity. Find a quiet space where you can be free from distractions. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to turn inward. With each breath, repeat the affirmation: "All the abundance I seek is already within me." Let these words sink into your awareness, not as a hope for the future, but as a recognition of present truth. Practice this meditation daily, allowing the reality of your inner wealth to emerge naturally, like a sculpture freed from stone. Chapter 12. The Spiritual Plane of Wealth. In the ancient city of Meridia, an architect named Ibrahim spent his days creating buildings of extraordinary beauty. While others relied solely on mathematical precision, Ibrahim discovered an ancient scroll containing sacred geometric patterns that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. By incorporating these designs into his work, his buildings began to radiate an inexplicable harmony that attracted people from distant lands. You stand on a similar threshold of discovery. The flow of wealth in your life follows precise spiritual blueprints, patterns as old as creation itself. These universal laws operate with unwavering consistency, shaping the currents of abundance, just as gravity shapes the flow of rivers. The law of cause and effect is woven into every financial transaction, every monetary decision. Every thought you plant, every action you take, creates ripples that return to you multiplied. This isn't just metaphysical theory, but a fundamental principle that governs the operation of the universe. When you align your financial decisions with these timeless laws, abundance flows as naturally as water seeking its level. Consider the story of Marcus, a sailor famous for navigating the most treacherous waters. While others relied only on maps and charts, Marcus learned to read the stars, understanding that celestial patterns guided earthly journeys. One stormy night, when waves threatened to sink his vessel, Marcus looked beyond the chaos to the unchanging constellations above. By aligning his course with these eternal guides, he steered his ship safely, while others foundered in the tempest. Like Marcus's stars, universal principles illuminate your path to prosperity. Just as celestial bodies move in perfect orchestration, your financial life responds to spiritual laws that transcend temporal circumstances. The turbulent waters of financial uncertainty don't have to defeat you when you navigate these eternal truths. Your financial life is not a mere coincidence, but a sacred design that unfolds according to your alignment with universal law. Every transaction, every exchange of energy, follows this divine architecture. When you understand these principles, you transform your relationship with money from one of struggle to one of fluid harmony. Find a quiet moment and take out your journal. Write a detailed vision of your ideal financial life. But look beyond the numbers. Explore how this vision embodies universal principles. How does it enable you to give generously to others? How do you express gratitude for what you receive? How does it align with the natural flow of abundance? Let your vision become a living blueprint, guided by the same sacred geometry that governs all creation. As you write, feel how your words align with the eternal patterns of prosperity that have guided seekers throughout the centuries. Chapter 12. Aligning your purpose with prosperity. In a village among ancient mountains lived Ezra, a blacksmith whose furnace burned day and night. Though skilled in his craft, his creations remained ordinary until the day he discovered an ancient truth. As he worked late one night, exhausted from creating objects that brought him no joy, he stopped to remember why he had chosen this path. As a child, he had dreamed of creating objects of beauty that would inspire others. In that moment of remembrance, something changed. The flames of his furnace danced with new life, and from his hammer emerged a key like no other, one that seemed to glow with inner light. You too possess transformative power within you. The universe speaks through your deepest calling, your authentic purpose. When you align your actions with this sacred mission, the doors of abundance open wide. This is no mere coincidence, but the operation of a fundamental law. Purpose attracts prosperity. Consider how water naturally flows downhill, seeking its intended path. In the same way, wealth flows more freely when your actions align with your soul's true direction. This alignment creates an energetic resonance that the universe cannot help but respond to with abundance. Consider the story of Amara, a dancer in the royal court. Though technically perfect, her performances left audiences indifferent until she faced a truth within herself. Dancing had become a mere display of skill, divorced from the joy that had drawn her to the movement. One night, instead of performing the prescribed steps, she allowed her heart to guide her movements. As she danced with pure joy, the audience was mesmerized, moved to tears by the authenticity of her expression. That night, her true purpose merged with her art, and her fame spread throughout the land. This story reflects your own journey with wealth. When your work becomes a mere means to accumulate money, the flow of abundance often feels restricted. But when your actions spring from an authentic purpose, when your work serves something greater than yourself, prosperity follows as naturally as dawn follows night. Your purpose is not a distant goal to be achieved, but a present reality waiting to be embraced. It flows through every choice, every action, every moment you choose alignment over convenience. The wealth you seek becomes a natural expression of living. In the ancient halls of wisdom lived a scribe named Cairo, who discovered a mysterious scroll emanating dark energy. The manuscript contained inscriptions that cast shadows of lack and limitation on all who read it. However, Cairo possessed knowledge passed down through generations, the sacred art of transforming words into reality. With golden ink extracted from the morning sun, he began to carefully inscribe new phrases of abundance upon the cursed text. As each word took shape, the darkness of the scroll dissipated, replaced by a radiant glow. The power of your words shapes reality. Every thought you speak or write carries vibrations that spread throughout the universe, programming your subconscious mind and attracting corresponding experiences. When you consciously choose abundance words, you initiate a profound transformation in your relationship with wealth. Your mind responds to repetition, as a garden responds to constant care. Every time you express an affirmation with genuine feeling, you plant a seed of possibility in the fertile soil of your consciousness. These seeds, watered by emotion and cultivated with faith, grow into new neural pathways that attract prosperity. In the valleys of an ancient kingdom lived a healer named Maya, who understood this truth. When a drought left the fields barren, she gathered the villagers at dawn each day. Together, they chanted words of renewal, infusing their voices with an unwavering belief. The earth flourishes, the crops multiply, abundance flows. Day after day they continued, even when no change was visible. Then, as her words took root in the collective consciousness, the first green shoots emerged from the soil. Her sustained faith, expressed through powerful affirmations, had transformed the land beneath their feet. Like Maya and her villagers, you have the power to transform your financial reality through the conscious use of words. Your affirmations become instructions to the universe, especially when they are charged with emotion and conviction. The key is not in mechanical repetition, but in feeling the truth of your words as you speak them. Find a quiet moment at dawn or dusk. Take out your journal and write 3 affirmations that resonate deeply with your vision of abundance. Let these words flow naturally, speaking to your highest aspirations for wealth and prosperity. Every morning, stand in front of a mirror and say these affirmations aloud with complete conviction, allowing yourself to feel the truth of these statements in every cell of your being. Your words are seeds of transformation, and through consistent practice, they will blossom into your new reality. Chapter 14. Creating your vision of unlimited wealth. In a village among ancient mountains lived an artist named Isabella, whose brushstrokes held a mysterious power. Every morning she sat in front of her canvas, closing her eyes to first see her creation in perfect detail within her mind. Only when the image became crystal clear did she lift her brush. As she painted with unwavering focus and pure intention, something magical happened. Her art began to come to life. The trees she painted sprouted from the ground, streams flowed from her watercolors, and abundance manifested in her golden scenes. Your mind possesses this same creative force. When you hold an image with clarity and sustained focus, you activate the universal law of manifestation. Like an architect who draws detailed plans before beginning construction, your visualization creates the energetic template that reality follows. The key lies in the precision of your mental image. Vague desires scatter like leaves in the wind, but clear visions act like magnetic forces, attracting circumstances and opportunities that match their frequency. As you visualize your desired financial reality, engage all your senses. Feel the texture of abundance. Hear the sounds of prosperity. See the details of wealth flowing into your life. In the vast deserts, a man named Rashid, lost and thirsty, began to visualize in extraordinary detail the sound of water running over rocks, the feel of cool shade, and the sight of abundant fruit hanging from trees. He held this vision with such clarity and conviction that his feet naturally carried him forward. At dawn, he discovered an oasis that matched his vision in every detail, as if his mind had called it into existence. Like Isabella's paintings and Rashid's oasis, your financial destiny responds to the images you hold in your mind. When you infuse your visualization with emotion and unwavering belief, you transform abstract possibilities into concrete reality. The universe conspires to match your inner vision, orchestrating events and opportunities that align with your mental blueprint. Take 10 minutes now to create your vision. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and begin to create a picture of your ideal financial life. Move through this reality: the house you live in, the job you do, the way you use your wealth to benefit others. Feel the emotions of living in this abundance. Listen to the conversations you have about money. Let every detail become crisp and clear in your mind. This isn't a simple daydream. It's the sacred act of imprinting your destiny on the canvas of consciousness. Chapter 15. Sacred Wealth. Rituals to activate your magnetic field. High in the mountains, beneath the luminous glow of the full moon, lived a wise woman named Amara. Each night, as the moonlight bathed the earth in silver, she performed an ancient ritual passed down through generations. With precise movements, she placed crystals in a circle, lit sacred herbs, and moved in harmony with the celestial rhythms. As she performed these sacred acts with unwavering devotion, the air around her began to glow with golden light, attracting abundance like moths to a flame. You possess the same capacity to create sacred space and ritual in your life. Through consistent and intentional practice, you forge a direct channel to the universal flow of prosperity. These are not mere habits, but powerful ceremonies that align your energy with the infinite abundance of the cosmos. Each ritual you perform with conscious intention strengthens your magnetic field, tuning your frequency to that of wealth and prosperity. Like a radio finding its perfect station, your dedicated practice eliminates the noise and creates a clear reception for abundance. In a distant valley lived Marcus, a humble gardener whose plants thrived beyond all natural explanation. His secret lay not in special fertilizers or advanced techniques, but in the loving ritual he performed each morning. He touched each plant with reverence, whispered words of encouragement, and cared for them as if they were precious gems. Under his careful attention, even the most humble seeds grew into magnificent abundance. Your relationship with abundance requires the same devoted attention. Through daily rituals, you nurture the seeds of prosperity within your consciousness, creating conditions for wealth to flourish naturally. Each practice becomes a sacred act of alignment, bringing you closer to the infinite source of all abundance. The time has come to establish your own prosperity ritual. Find a quiet moment each day, preferably at dawn or dusk, when you can fully dedicate yourself to this practice. Begin by creating a sacred space, perhaps lighting a candle or placing meaningful objects around you. Open your ritual with gratitude, acknowledging the abundance already present in your life. Then, move on to visualization, seeing yourself surrounded by prosperity in all its forms. Complete your practice by saying an affirmation that resonates with your highest vision of wealth. This is not a mere exercise. It is a sacred communion with the universal forces of abundance. Approach it with reverence, consistency, and unwavering faith in its power to transform your reality. Chapter 16. The Power of Forgiveness. In a bustling ancient market lived a merchant named Ibrahim, who carried not only his wares, but also the heavy burden of debts and resentments. Every morning, he meticulously recorded in his book the names of those who owed him money and those to whom he owed favors. The weight of these records grew until his shoulders buckled under their invisible burden. You, like Ibrahim, may carry similar burdens. Debts that weigh on your spirit, resentments that cloud your vision, regrets that anchor you to past financial mistakes. Yet within these challenges lies a profound truth. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the flow of abundance. Universal law speaks clearly. Where forgiveness flows, prosperity follows. Every grievance you hold creates an energetic blockage, like a dam that restricts the natural flow of wealth. These blockages manifest as patterns of lack, struggle, or persistent financial challenges. Ibrahim's transformation began the day he discovered an ancient scroll that spoke of releasing debts to receive abundance. With trembling hands, he began erasing names from his book, forgiving others and himself. As each name disappeared, a lightness filled his being. Soon, unexpected opportunities appeared, and his business flourished like never before. Consider how this truth operates in your own life. Financial hurts from the past, betrayals, losses, mistakes, create invisible barriers to your prosperity. By holding on to these grievances, you unconsciously perpetuate patterns of scarcity. In a distant workshop, a sculptor named Maya worked tirelessly on a block of marble. Rather than forcing the stone to conform to her will, she approached her art as an act of forgiveness, gently removing what didn't belong until the inherent beauty emerged. "I don't create," she would say. "I simply release what lies within." Your relationship with wealth requires this same gentle release. Through forgiveness, you remove the layers of pain, guilt, and resentment that obscure your natural state of abundance. Each act of forgiveness clears your energetic field, allowing prosperity to flow unhindered. The time has come to embrace this sacred practice of financial forgiveness. Take a piece of paper and write a letter to yourself or another, expressing all the financial grievances you have carried. Pour your truth onto the page without judgment. Then, in a sacred act of release, burn or discard the letter, allowing the winds of transformation to carry these old energies away. As you do so, feel the lightness that comes with true forgiveness, and watch as the path to prosperity clears before you. Chapter 17. The Circle of Giving. In a distant valley, where the mountains touch the sky, lived a farmer named Sauron, who farmed a barren field. Every morning he looked at the dusty earth, his heart heavy with worry about feeding his family. Yet in his weathered hands, he held a handful of precious seeds, his last hope for survival. You, like Sauron, might face times when resources seem scarce. The natural impulse is to hold on, to protect what little one has. However, ancient wisdom reveals a paradox that transforms this limited thinking. As Sauron planted his seeds, travelers passed by his field. Despite his own uncertainty, Something moved him to share half of his seeds with these wayfarers. "Plant them in their lands," he said, his voice trembling with both fear and faith. The law of circulation operates with perfect precision in the universe. Like breath, which must be released to receive fresh air, wealth must flow outward to create space for new abundance to enter. Every act of giving initiates a cycle of receiving. As the seasons passed, Sauron's crops flourished beyond imagination. Most notably, the travelers he had helped returned with seeds from distant lands, each variety more abundant than the last. His single field became a tapestry of abundance, feeding not only his family, but the entire valley. In the Andalusian market, a shopkeeper named Hassan faced a similar ordeal during a devastating famine. He decided to share his meager supplies with the starving villagers. Each night, as he distributed his goods for free, his shelves seemed to grow emptier. However, each morning, mysterious caravans arrived, bringing rare goods and unexpected opportunities. The universe responds to the energy of giving with mathematical precision. When you give with an open heart, you declare your trust in the universe's infinite supply. This declaration activates forces beyond your current understanding, multiplying your prosperity in unexpected ways. Through these stories, the ancient truth becomes clear. Giving is not a loss, but an investment in the cosmic flow of abundance. Every act of generosity creates ripples that return as waves of prosperity. Choose a meaningful way to give today, knowing that the form of your generosity matters less than the spirit behind it. It doesn't have to be monetary. Share your time, your knowledge, your compassion, or your resources freely with those who cross your path. A kind word to a stranger, a moment of genuine care for someone in need, or a small gift given with great love can create ripples of positive energy that expand far beyond your sight. As you give, notice the subtle shifts in your energy and the lightness that fills your being. Notice how the act of giving creates an immediate expansion in your spirit, opening new channels for abundance to flow through you. This practice of conscious giving attunes you to the natural rhythms of universal prosperity, allowing you to become a more perfect vessel for the infinite blessings seeking to express themselves through your life. Chapter 18. Sealing the leaks in your wealth container. In a bustling desert city, there lived a water carrier named Tamir, who made his living transporting precious water from the oasis to wealthy homes. After years of diligent work, he accumulated considerable wealth, keeping his gold coins in the same containers he used to carry water. However, unbeknownst to him, small holes had formed in the base of his containers, causing both the water and the coins to gradually leak. You possess an energy vessel that attracts and retains wealth, like the containers of Tamir. This vessel can develop subtle leaks that drain your prosperity. These leaks manifest as habits that drain your vitality, thoughts that diminish your power, and emotions that scatter your focus. Every day, Tamir wondered why his fortune was dwindling despite his constant work. Only when an observant child pointed out the trail of coins behind him did he realize the source of his loss. Similarly, your financial energy can escape through channels you've overlooked. Excessive worries about money, relationships that drain your resources, or activities that waste your precious time and attention. The universal law of conservation of energy teaches that power must be contained to be utilized. When your vessel is intact, your ability to manifest is strengthened. When it leaks, even the most abundant flow will eventually dry up. In the iron district of the same city lived a blacksmith named Kenzo, who faced a similar challenge. His forge developed cracks that weakened its heat, threatening his livelihood. Rather than abandon the forge, he discovered an ancient technique of filling the cracks with molten gold. Not only did he repair the damage, but he made the forge stronger and more beautiful than before. Like Kenzo's golden repairs, you can transform your energy leaks into sources of strength. Every time you identify a draining pattern and consciously seal it with a positive practice, your capacity for wealth expands. These repairs become golden lines of wisdom in the vessel of your life. The universe responds to pent-up energy with increased power. When you seal the leaks in your financial vessel through mindfulness and decisive action, you create a stronger container for abundance to fill. Find a quiet moment to examine your daily patterns. Notice where your energy is dispersed, perhaps through excessive social media use, negative self-talk, or procrastination. Choose one of these leaks and seal it with a strengthening practice. If worry drains you, replace it with meditation. If scattered focus weakens your vessel, strengthen it with periods of dedicated work. Document this transformation in your journal, marking the moment you chose to strengthen your prosperity vessel. Chapter 19. Trusting in the divine flow of abundance. Along the shores of an ancient sea lived a fisherman named Adal. Every morning, he hurried to cast his nets at dawn, fighting the tides and exhausting himself in pursuit of the day's catch. Despite his tireless efforts, his nets often came back empty. You, like Adal, may find yourself struggling against the natural rhythms of abundance. In your quest to manifest wealth, you push and strain, creating resistance where flow should exist. One day, an elderly fisherman observed Adal's frustrated attempts and shared a wisdom passed down through generations. The sea gives its bounty not to those who demand, but to those who understand its rhythm. This truth transformed Adal's approach. He learned to read the tides, to sense the perfect moment when the waters would bring abundance to his nets. The universe operates with perfect timing, orchestrating circumstances beyond your current vision. When you let go of the need to control every aspect of your financial manifestation, you align yourself with this divine orchestration. In a village high in the mountains lived a baker named Maya, who made the most exquisite bread. However, her first attempts were marked by impatience. She constantly checked the dough, kneading it repeatedly, interrupting the natural fermentation process. Only when she learned to step back, to trust the interaction of yeast and flour, did her bread reach perfection. Like the bread of Maya, your prosperity requires periods of invisible growth. During these times, your role is not to force or manipulate, but to maintain unwavering faith in the process. Every moment of trust builds the foundation for future abundance. When you release your control over how and when abundance should appear, you open yourself to receive in ways far greater than your limited perspective could imagine. This surrender is not a passive waiting, but an active faith, a deep trust in the wisdom of universal timing. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed, a sacred corner where the whispers of the world fade away. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing each breath to bring you deeper into presence. As you settle into stillness, repeat with genuine feeling, "I trust the universe to deliver my abundance in perfect timing." Let this affirmation sink into your being for 5 minutes, releasing all need to control the process. Feel your shoulders soften, your mind quiet its constant planning. With each repetition, surrender more fully to the infinite wisdom that orchestrates all creation. Feel the peace that comes with complete trust in divine timing, knowing that, just as flowers bloom without forcing their petals, your abundance unfolds according to universal law. Chapter 20. Mastering the Prosperity Dialogue. In a distant land, where ancient scrolls held forgotten wisdom, lived a linguist named Theon, who dedicated his life to discovering lost languages. Among dusty tomes and worn manuscripts, he discovered peculiar symbols that seemed to pulse with living energy. These symbols, he learned, formed the sacred language of abundance, a way to communicate directly with the universal forces of prosperity. You possess this same ability to speak the language of wealth, though it may lie dormant within you. Like Theon, you must first recognize that every word you speak creates ripples in the fabric of creation, shaping the reality that manifests around you. The universe responds not only to your spoken words, but to the energy they carry. When you declare, "I am blessed" with genuine feeling, you begin a dialogue with the infinite. Your thoughts and emotions form sentences in this cosmic conversation, attracting circumstances that match their frequency. Consider how a gentle stream shapes stones over time. This is how your daily dialogue with money shapes your financial reality. Harsh words of lack create resistance, while expressions of gratitude open channels for flow. Every complaint about bills becomes a barrier, while every statement of appreciation builds a bridge to greater abundance. In the bustling markets of an ancient city lived a merchant named Sarai. Unlike other vendors who haggled aggressively, she spoke to each customer with genuine warmth and blessings. "May this purchase bring you joy," she would say, or "I am grateful for the opportunity to serve you." Over time, her shop became known not only for her wares, but for the sense of abundance that permeated every transaction. Customers returned not only for her wares, but for the prosperity her words seemed to bestow. This story reflects the power you have in your own business dealings. The practice of speaking to money may seem strange at first, but it follows the eternal principle that energy flows where attention goes. By consciously choosing words that honor and appreciate wealth, you tune into its frequency. As night falls and the day's activities settle into silence, find a moment of solitude in this sacred space. Speak aloud your gratitude for the presence of money in your life. Thank it for the refuge it provides, the opportunities it creates, and the freedom it offers. Let your words carry the warmth of genuine appreciation. "I thank you, money, for flowing into my life. I am grateful for all the ways you serve and support me. I appreciate your presence and the opportunities you bring." Feel these words resonate within you, creating a harmonious dialogue with the universal forces of abundance. Chapter 21. Awakening the Creator Within. In the shadows of the ancient mountains lived a potter named Maya, whose vessels were sought after throughout the land. While others created ordinary vessels, Maya's pieces seemed to contain magic within their curves. However, she had not always possessed this gift. In her early days, her pots cracked and collapsed, refusing to take shape beneath her frustrated hands. One moonlit night, while sitting at her wheel, Maya noticed how the clay responded differently when her heart was at peace. When she approached her work with joy, the vessel rose gracefully. When doubt clouded her mind, the clay resisted her touch. Through this observation, she discovered that the material in front of her was more than just earth. It was a mirror of her inner state. You too are a creator, shaping the substance of your reality through your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Like clay under Maya's hands, the universal energy of wealth responds to your inner state. When you approach your financial life with clarity and purpose, you activate the same creative force that shapes worlds. In the bustling city of inventors lived a young man named Ravi. He spent countless hours in his workshop, forcing his mind to generate new ideas. However, his greatest breakthrough came unexpectedly during a moment of complete stillness. While meditating at dawn, the solution he had sought for so long suddenly appeared in his mind with perfect clarity. This truth resonates through the centuries. Creation does not flow from struggle, but from alignment. When you still the turbulent waters of your mind, you access the infinite well of abundance that exists within you. Your role is not to force wealth, but to align yourself with the creative current that flows naturally through all things. Wealth creation isn't a process of reaching outside yourself to grab what you lack. Instead, it's an allowing, a recognition of the abundant nature of your own being. Just as a flower doesn't struggle to bloom, but unfolds naturally in the sunlight, your prosperity emerges naturally when you align with your inner creator. Every day, find a quiet moment to connect with this truth. Sit in silence and feel the creative force of the universe flowing through you. Remember that you are not separate from this power. You are one with it. As you affirm, I am the creator of my wealth, and abundance flows through me effortlessly. Feel these words resonating with the creative essence of your being. Let this practice remind you of your natural state of abundance and your innate power to shape your financial reality. Chapter 22. Sustaining the Infinite Flow of Abundance. In the heart of an ancient valley flowed a sacred river, whose waters brought life to all who lived along its banks. This river, known as the Eternal Flow, carried crystal-clear waters that seemed to glow with divine light. However, there came a time when the villagers began to build dams and barriers, hoping to store its precious waters for themselves. As each obstacle arose, the river's flow diminished, until its mighty current became a mere trickle. A wise woman named Amara lived upriver, where the waters still ran pure and strong. She understood the river's secret. Its power lay not in containment, but in constant movement. When she shared this wisdom with the villagers, they removed their barriers one by one. As each obstacle fell, the river's force returned, bringing greater abundance than they had ever known. You too possess this river of abundance within you. When you allow it to flow freely, maintaining your energetic alignment through daily practices and mindfulness, prosperity flows naturally and consistently into your life. Like a river, wealth cannot be hoarded or controlled. It must flow freely to maintain its power. On the fertile eastern plains lived a farmer named Kai, who inherited a magnificent orchard from his ancestors. Initially, he believed the trees would bear fruit without his attention, but soon the branches grew wild and the harvest dwindled. Through experience, he learned that abundance requires daily care. Each morning, he walked among his trees, pruning dead branches, nourishing the soil, and expressing gratitude for each blossom and fruit. Over time, his orchard became famous not only for its bounty, but for the sustainable nature of its harvest. While others experienced cycles of plenty and scarcity, his trees produced consistently year after year. The secret lay not in grand gestures, but in his daily devotion to maintaining harmony with nature's rhythms. This wisdom applies to your abundance journey. It's not enough to align with prosperity once and expect it to sustain itself. Like Kai's garden, your abundance requires regular attention, not from a place of worry or lack, but from a space of loving care. Each day presents opportunities to tend to your energetic garden through gratitude, aligned action, and mindfulness of your thoughts and emotions. Your abundance flourishes when you maintain a consistent vibrational frequency that matches the energy of prosperity. This means choosing thoughts that uplift you, speaking words that empower, and taking actions that align with your highest good. Just as a farmer cannot force a seed to grow, but can create optimal conditions for its flourishing, you create the conditions for sustainable abundance through your daily choices and practices. Take a moment now to reflect on an area of your life where abundance flows freely. Observe the thoughts, emotions, and actions that contribute to this natural state of flow. Consider how you might apply these same principles to other aspects of your life, nurturing the seeds of prosperity with consistent care and attention. Chapter 23. The Quantum Field of Wealth. In the ancient scrolls of wisdom lies a tale of a traveler named Rayan, who journeyed through mystical lands until he discovered a lake like no other. Its surface gleamed like polished silver, but when he looked into its depths, he saw not his physical reflection, but the manifestation of his thoughts and feelings. When fear crossed his mind, the waters darkened and churned. When peace filled his heart, the lake's surface became crystal clear, revealing treasures beneath its waters. The universe operates similarly to this mystical lake, responding to the energy you project into it. Your thoughts and feelings are not mere abstract concepts in your mind. They are powerful forces that generate ripples in the quantum field, shaping the very structure of your reality. This field, infinite in its potential, awaits your conscious direction. Every moment, you are on the threshold of infinite possibilities. Like waves in the quantum ocean, these possibilities exist simultaneously until your focused intention collapses them into a tangible experience. Your financial reality is not predetermined. Rather, it emerges from this dance between consciousness and possibility. In the distant mountains lived a scientist named Marcus, who spent years studying the invisible forces of nature. While others dismissed what they couldn't see, he recognized that the most powerful forces are often invisible, such as gravity, magnetism, and the bonds between atoms. Through patient observation and unwavering focus, he learned to harness these forces, creating innovations that transformed his world. Marcus discovered that attention, when aligned with deep feeling and unwavering focus, could influence the outcome of his experiments. His greatest breakthroughs came not from forcing results, but from entering a state of harmony with the natural forces he studied. As Marcus learned to work with invisible forces, you too can tap into the quantum field that shapes your financial reality. Your focused intention acts as a signal, instructing this field to organize itself according to your vision. When you maintain clear and consistent thoughts of abundance, while feeling the excitement of already having what you desire, you activate this creative process. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and imagine yourself surrounded by a vast, shimmering field of pure potential. Feel its receptive nature, how it undulates with every thought. Now, project your financial intentions into this field with crystal clarity. See them taking shape first as patterns of light, then gradually solidifying into physical reality. Feel the thrill of your manifestation as if it has already happened. Let this practice remind you of your role as a conscious creator in the quantum dance of existence. Chapter 24. Living in Abundance. In the misty peaks of an ancient mountain range lived a monk named Aidan, who owned nothing but the robe on his back. Each morning, he sat in meditation, his weathered hands gently folded in his lap. Though his possessions were few, his heart overflowed with joy and gratitude for the simple gifts of existence. One dawn, as sunlight pierced the morning mist, Aidan experienced a profound awakening. He understood that the wealth he sought had always resided within his own heart. As this truth blossomed within him, remarkable changes began to manifest in his outer world. Travelers brought offerings, opportunities appeared unexpectedly, and abundance flowed naturally into his life. Your internal state creates your external reality. Like a powerful magnet, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs attract corresponding experiences into your life. When you cultivate genuine feelings of abundance within yourself, the external world should reorganize to match this inner richness. In the bustling market of a distant city lived Ibrahim, a humble tailor whose creations were unique. While other artisans focused solely on profit, Ibrahim poured love and joy into every stitch. As he worked, he felt a deep gratitude for the ability to create beauty with his hands. Soon, the fame of his extraordinary garments spread far and wide. Nobles and merchants sought his work, unaware that the true magic was not in the threads, but in the love woven into each piece. The universe responds not to what you possess, but to the energy you emanate. When you nurture states of joy, gratitude, and inner fulfillment, you activate a natural law that should manifest these qualities in your external circumstances. Your inner abundance becomes the template from which your physical reality is shaped. Every morning, before the world awakens, sit in perfect stillness. Place your hand over your heart and feel the warmth of inner abundance flowing through your being. Let this feeling expand until it fills every cell in your body. Experience the truth that all the wealth you seek already exists within you. Allow this inner wealth to radiate outward, knowing that it will naturally transform into outer abundance. Chapter 25. The Art of Letting Go to Receive More. In the ancient city of Meridia, a famous tightrope walker named Marcus, performed breathtaking feats above the crowded squares. Night after night, he gripped his pole with white knuckles, his body tense with fear of falling. Though skilled, his performances lacked the grace that comes with true artistry. One evening, as the setting sun painted the sky shades of amber, a wise old man approached Marcus. "Your fear binds you more than any rope," the sage whispered. "Only by letting go will you find your wings." That night, Marcus ascended the platform and, for the first time, loosened his grip on the pole. As he stepped onto the cable, something miraculous happened. His movements became fluid, effortless, almost dance-like. The crowd below gasped as he moved with unprecedented grace. You must understand that attachment to outcomes creates resistance to the natural flow of abundance. When you hold tightly to your desires, you restrict the infinite ways the universe can deliver your good to you. Like a river that must flow freely, abundance requires space to move through your life. Fear of loss, anxiety about the future, and rigid expectations act as barriers to the natural flow of prosperity. By releasing these mental restrictions, you allow the universe to work through unlimited channels, often bringing you gifts far greater than you could have imagined. In a small village among rolling hills, lived a girl named Sarah. Every year on her birthday, her father gave her a beautiful balloon. She held it tightly, afraid of losing her precious gift. But on her 7th birthday, something different happened. As she watched the balloon dance in the wind, she felt an impulse to release it into the sky. Although tears filled her eyes as she watched it float, she felt a strange peace in her heart. That night, a mysterious basket appeared on her doorstep, filled with treasures beyond her wildest dreams. Books of ancient wisdom, crystals that glowed with inner light, and gifts of love from unknown benefactors. By letting go of a small attachment, she had opened herself to receive abundantly. When you let go of your control over how things should be, you create space for the universe to surprise you with its generosity. Trust that what flows to you will be perfect, even if it comes in unexpected ways. Find a quiet moment in your day and identify an attachment or expectation you've been holding tightly. It could be a specific outcome you desire, a time frame you've set, or a way you believe abundance should appear. Breathe deeply and consciously release this attachment. In the heart of an ancient kingdom lived a craftsman named Thaddeus, whose hands possessed the rare gift of transforming gold into objects of profound spiritual significance. Every morning, as the first rays of the sun touched his workshop, he bowed before his materials, acknowledging the sacred nature of his craft. The gold he worked with was not simply metal, it was manifested divine energy. Money flows through your life like a sacred stream, waiting to be shaped by your highest intentions. Like the craftsman's gold, it contains within it the potential for transformation, ready to take the form of your deepest purpose. When you recognize money as spiritual energy, you begin to see its true nature. It is neither good nor evil, but a pure force awaiting direction from your consciousness. Every coin, every transaction, becomes an opportunity to express divine creativity through material form. In a distant valley lived a wealthy merchant named Ibrahim, who had accumulated great wealth through his business dealings. Yet his heart remained unsatisfied until the day he witnessed a young boy unable to read a simple sign. This moment awakened him to his true purpose. With careful intention, he began channeling his wealth into building schools throughout the land. Each school became more than a building. It was a temple of learning where dreams came to life. As Ibrahim watched generations of children discover knowledge within the walls his money had built, he understood a fundamental truth. Wealth aligned with purpose creates ripples of transformation that extend far beyond the initial investment. You possess within you the power to transmute money from mere currency into a force for positive change. When you align your financial resources with your soul's calling, you participate in a sacred act of creation. Every dollar becomes a seed of potential, carrying within it the power to manifest beauty, wisdom, or healing in the world. Take a moment of silence and connect with your heart's deepest aspirations. Let the outside world fade away as you journey into that sacred space where truth resides. In your journal, write one specific way you can use money as a tool for meaningful creation. Let your vision extend beyond personal gain to touch the lives of others. What seeds of transformation could your resources plant in the garden of humanity? What lights could your abundance ignite in the darkness? Feel the sacred responsibility and joy of using financial resources to manifest positive change in your world. As you contemplate this noble purpose, know that you are participating in an ancient tradition of wise stewardship that has elevated civilizations throughout time. Chapter 27. Leaving a Legacy of Wealth and Wisdom. In a distant valley, among rolling hills, lived a gardener named Sauron, who spent his days planting fruit trees. While others sought quick harvests, Sauron carefully selected saplings that would take decades to bear their first fruit. "These trees," he said as he worked the soil, "are not for me, but for those who will walk these paths long after I am gone." You too, hold in your hands seeds of possibility that extend far beyond your earthly journey. Every choice you make in managing and directing your resources plants roots that will nourish future generations. This truth has been understood by the wise throughout the centuries. Wealth, when properly cultivated, grows into a legacy that sustains both body and spirit. Consider how your current financial decisions create ripples over time. Every investment, every act of generosity, every shared lesson about abundance creates branches that extend into tomorrow. True wealth is not measured solely in accumulated treasures, but in the lasting impact it creates in the lives of others. In a mountain village lived a teacher named Maya, who possessed little material wealth, but understood that the richest legacy she could leave was wisdom. Every day, she gathered her students and shared not only knowledge, but also understanding about the sacred nature of abundance. "What I give you," she told them, "multiplies as you share it with others." Years later, her students became teachers, and the wisdom she planted continued to flourish in countless hearts. The universe has entrusted you with resources, both material and spiritual, not only for your own benefit, but as seeds to be planted for future harvests. Your financial choices have the power to nurture dreams beyond your own, to sustain visions that will flourish long after your physical presence has passed. As you align your wealth with a higher purpose, you participate in an eternal cycle of giving that transcends time. Every act of conscious abundance creates ripples that touch shores you may never see. This is the sacred responsibility and joy of creating a legacy aligned with universal truths. Now, in the silence of this moment, contemplate the garden of abundance you wish to cultivate for future generations. Take out your journal and write a statement that expresses the legacy of wealth and wisdom you wish to leave behind. Let your words flow from that deep place within you where eternal truth resides. This statement becomes a compass that guides your financial choices toward creating a lasting impact that will continue to bear fruit in the lives of others. Chapter 28. Harmonizing Prosperity with Inner Peace. In a distant kingdom, there lived a king named Aldred, who ruled vast territories. Despite his wealth and power, his kingdom suffered constant turmoil, reflecting the storm raging within his own heart. Each morning, he paced the palace halls, worrying over decisions and struggling to maintain control over his expanding empire. One day, a wise old man appeared in his court. Rather than offering advice on government, the wise man simply placed a bowl of water in front of the king. "Observe," he instructed. As Aldred's agitated thoughts churned the water, the ripples distorted everything reflected on its surface. But when he calmed, the water cleared, revealing perfect clarity. You possess the same wisdom that transformed Aldred's reign. When you learn to still the waters of your mind, abundance flows naturally and effortlessly. The universe responds not to desperate grasping, but to the calm certainty that emerges from inner peace. In the eastern mountains lived a renowned healer named Jin, who created powerful elixirs by combining fire and water. Many sought to learn his secret, but few understood that his mastery came not from technique, but from his balanced state of being. The elements respond to harmony, he said, just as prosperity responds to a peaceful heart. Your relationship with money reflects this ancient truth. When you approach money from a place of inner turbulence, it becomes a source of struggle. But when you cultivate tranquility within yourself, financial flows naturally align with your highest good. The path to lasting abundance requires not only action in the outer world, but also the cultivation of inner stillness. Like Jin's perfectly balanced elixir, your prosperity emerges from the harmonious blend of spiritual peace and material commitment. This wisdom resonates through the centuries. True wealth flourishes in the soil of a peaceful mind. As you learn to maintain inner calm amid life's challenges, you create the optimal conditions for abundance to grow. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed and gently close your eyes. Allow your breathing to become steady and deep. Feel each inhalation bring clarity, and each exhalation release tension. As you settle into stillness, like a pool becoming a mirror, repeat this sacred phrase with calm conviction. I am at peace with prosperity, and it flows to me effortlessly. Let these words sink deep into your being, beyond the surface of conscious thought, into the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Feel their truth resonating in every cell, creating a foundation of tranquility from which your abundance can naturally emerge, like a flower opening to the morning sun. In this space of perfect calm, you become a natural channel for the endless flow of prosperity. Chapter 29. The Dance of Spirit and Money. In the Valley of 1,000 Temples lived a dancer named Maya, whose movements captured the attention of both earth and sky. Every dawn, she emerged from her humble abode, her bare feet touching the sacred ground, and began her dance. As her body swayed, the air itself seemed to glow with a golden light, and those who watched spoke of seeing the universe move through her. You too have within you the same capacity to move in harmony with life's larger rhythms. Money, like dance, flows as an expression of universal energy, not separate from the spirit, but a manifestation of it. When you align yourself with this truth, you discover that wealth and spirituality naturally intertwine, like breath and movement. Ancient teachings reveal that resistance to money often stems from a misunderstanding of its sacred nature. Just as Maya's dance united heaven and earth, your relationship with abundance can unite the material and spiritual realms. In the eastern mountains lived a master weaver named Kai, whose tapestries were sought after by nobles and sages alike. While others saw gold thread as mere decoration, Kai understood it as light made tangible. He wove gold strands from the finest silk, creating patterns that seemed to pulse with living energy. Gold, he said, does not diminish the beauty of silk. It illuminates it. Your spiritual path and your financial abundance share the same relationship. Money, when approached with awareness, becomes a thread of light that weaves through the fabric of your spiritual journey. It enables acts of service, creates opportunities for growth, and manifests your highest intentions in the physical world. Wisdom traditions teach that the separation between spiritual and material wealth exists only in the mind. When you release this artificial division, you open yourself to experiencing abundance as a natural expression of your divine nature. Like Kai's masterpieces, your life becomes a beautiful integration of the sacred and the tangible. Take a moment now to find a quiet space where you can reflect deeply. Close your eyes and visualize money as a sacred energy flowing through your life. How might this force support your spiritual growth? What dreams and aspirations might manifest through this divine partnership? Feel the harmony that emerges when you allow wealth and spirit to dance together, creating a life of purpose and abundance. Let this vision guide you to a deeper understanding of the role of money in your spiritual journey, knowing that by embracing this sacred union, both your inner and outer world will be transformed. Chapter 30. Becoming a living embodiment of abundance. At the highest peaks of the mystical mountains lived a sage named Adamus, whose mere presence seemed to transform barren rocks into gardens of bounty. Travelers spoke of how the harsh winds softened around his dwelling, and even the simplest meals shared in his presence tasted like feasts fit for kings. However, Adamus possessed no material wealth. His wealth flowed from within, touching all who crossed his path. You too carry this sacred potential. The universe responds not to what you have, but to what you are. When your being resonates with abundance, the outer world naturally aligns to reflect this inner state. In the depths of your consciousness lies this same transformative power. Like Adamus, you can become a living embodiment of prosperity, radiating abundance through your mere presence. This state arises not from acquisition or achievement, but from aligning oneself with the infinite source that flows through all things. Along the treacherous coastline, an ancient lighthouse stood, its keeper known simply as the Silent One. Night after night, ships found safe haven guided by its unwavering light. Sailors whispered that those who followed its beam not only avoided the dangerous rocks, but also discovered unexpected treasures in the calm waters near the shore. This beacon reflects your greatest potential, to become so aligned with abundance that you naturally guide others toward their own prosperity. Just as a lighthouse doesn't strive or struggle to shine, true wealth flows effortlessly when you embody its essence. Ancient wisdom reveals that manifesting abundance requires no effort when you have become abundance itself. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions naturally align with prosperity because they spring from your transformed nature. Like the wise man whose presence blessed the mountains, or the lighthouse whose light guided ships to treasure, you become a living channel through which universal abundance flows. Find a quiet moment each morning before the world awakens. Close your eyes and feel yourself becoming a vessel of infinite abundance. Let this truth resonate in every cell of your being as you affirm, "I am abundance, and my life reflects infinite prosperity." Allow this knowledge to settle into your very bones, becoming not just a thought, but your very essence. Conclusion. In the timeless library of wisdom, there exists a tale of a seeker named Thoron, who traveled across vast deserts and treacherous mountains in search of the legendary Fountain of Plenty. For years, he followed ancient maps and scrolls, each promising to reveal its location. However, after exhausting all paths, he found himself back where he started, in his own garden. As he sat beneath the old oak tree, weary from his travels, Thoron noticed how the morning dew sparkled like diamonds on every leaf. The fruits hanging from its trees gleamed like gold in the sunlight. In that moment of perfect stillness, he realized that the abundance he sought had been flowing through him all along. You've walked a similar path through these chapters, discovering the sacred language of money. Like Thoron, perhaps you began this journey believing that abundance lay somewhere outside of you. However, as each teaching unfolded, you've awakened to the truth. The infinite source of prosperity resides within you. The wisdom you now possess transcends mere knowledge. It has become part of your being, transforming the way you move through the world. Every breath you take resonates with the frequency of abundance. Every thought you think aligns with the universal flow of prosperity. Your journey with these teachings marks not an end, but a beginning. As you move forward from this book, you carry within you the power to manifest unlimited abundance. The sacred principles you have embraced will continue to unfold, revealing deeper layers of truth as you walk your path. Remember that you are now a living embodiment of prosperity consciousness. Your very presence activates the flow of abundance, touching everyone who crosses your path. Like ripples in a pond, your alignment with wealth creates waves of prosperity that extend far beyond your immediate sphere. The time has come to declare your commitment to this transformed state of being. Find a quiet space where you can be fully present. Hold a coin in your palm or light a candle. Let this simple object become a sacred symbol of your dedication to embodying infinite abundance. Speak these words with the full power of your awakened consciousness. I am an infinite money magnet, and my prosperity knows no bounds. Let this declaration mark your emergence as a master of the sacred language of money, a channel through which unlimited abundance flows eternally. Choose a meaningful object, perhaps a coin passed down through generations or a freshly lit candle. Hold it in your hands and feel the energy of abundance flowing through you. Declare aloud, I am an infinite money magnet, and my prosperity knows no bounds. Let this moment seal your commitment to living as an embodiment of infinite abundance.